Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Hello.
hi.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for joining. We're just waiting for a few people to come and join us. Thank you so much for your time in joining us today.
Thank you, Zian. This is great.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you, Australia. Thank you, Asia. Welcome.
Okay, so let's just start. So first of all, welcome everyone to IRC's third live show. I'm your host and moderator for today, and I'm also the member of the executive board of IRC Australia and also director for Lawrence Water Seminars. So firstly, I'm very honored to have both Dr. Lawrence and Wahini today, and to all viewers for spending your time as we share on how we navigate through the shift to online learning and training. So let me start with a quick introduction of our speakers. We have, of course, Dr. Lawrence Walter Ng, Asia's top speaker, chief master trainer, founded Lawrence Water Seminars 35 years ago and written 8 books. LWS training, corporate training, has reached to 2 million participants in 14 countries and translated into multiple different languages from Spain, Indonesia, Thai, Cambodia, Vietnam, and also in China. Dr. Lawrence very most recently recognized as the prestigious Leader of the Year, winning the Best in Corporate Transformation Training Award, presented
Thank
by the
you.
Deputy Minister, yes, who still remembered your impactful training by Dr.
Yes.
Lawrence few decades ago, right, Dr. Lawrence?
Yeah, when she was 10 years old.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, I'm also honored to have Wahini Panda today, the CEO of 2 vocational training organizations, Health Academy and Health Courses Australia. Health Academy is an award-winning, yeah, hi Wahini, is an
Hi.
award-winning organization which offers health courses all completely online with fantastic tutor support and services. So Health Courses Australia is also a registered training organization offering nationally recognized qualifications in health, aged care, counseling, and dental assistance. So Wahini's passion has been recognized and she has been awarded the International Women's Day Leadership Award for Business in 2013 by Women at Work and also an Awardee of Merit 2017 for the Women in Business Awards, both supported
Wow.
by City of Gold Coast. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
so Wahini believes that education makes a big difference in people's lives and their careers, and that leads to better work-life balance. What I really like about Wahini is that she also supports a few orphanages through Health Academy and Health Courses Australia, and you really believe that giving to those in need is the best form of prayer. I love that.
Thanks, Zian. That's a great
Yeah.
introduction. Thank you.
Yes. She's
Yeah.
very good in
So
giving introduction. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I also want to acknowledge the viewers out there who is joining us. Hello, LWS team, and also hello, Tran Luna from Vietnam. Thank you so much
Mm,
for joining. Yeah, Ustaza Nasria, thank you so much for joining. Yeah. The best thing about Facebook Live is the opportunity to ask questions with speakers. So I really encourage
yes.
you when you're watching this live, jump into the questions on our chat below. So we will do our best to answer all your questions. Okay.
Great.
So
Yes.
let's jump right into our discussions for today. So maybe we start with Wahini. Wahini, how did the pandemic affect the enrollments for Health Academy Australia and Health Courses Australia?
Yeah, we had an initial dip in enrollments, probably in March, February, March, when the pandemic was just about starting. And from May onwards, it's been a dramatic increase in enrollments, which is kind of expected, I suppose. With the pandemic, everything is closing down, and people could only do something online. But the increase we saw was really, really exponential.
Very good.
Wow,
Wow.
fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. How about the outside in Lawrence Water Seminars? How do you think the pandemic is affecting the training business? Dr.
Yeah.
Lawrence.
I believe that a lot of people, a lot of organizations, they know that learning cannot stop. If they don't learn, they cannot anticipate the future. If they don't improve themselves, they can never navigate what's going to happen coming up soon. So they have to find a way to get this knowledge. So the best way right now, because of the fear of being affected by COVID, they want to go online. But we still discovered one group of people, they still want to be experiential learning. They still want to feel the energy of the speaker. They want to be in the presence. They want to be among the people. So we discovered something very interesting. We call it the hybrid version, where we do online, example, 500 people, and physical, we do about 20 to 30 people. So, and then we have cameras all over the place. So everybody can see each other. Everybody can feel the energy. And they're not like this in small business card size. They're like huge A4 size. So we can wave to them, we can see them, and they really feel that they're in an environment of change, in a learning environment that is supportive and cooperative. So I love the pandemic. It really moves us to a learning platform
Learning
where we
curve,
can
yeah.
actually talk to the world. Yeah. For example, our viewer from Vietnam, she would never have come all the way just to listen to a 1 hour talk. You know, she's like that. Hi, thanks for coming. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
And also
absolutely.
Urs, yeah, and also Urs Hohenstein. Sorry if I pronounced that wrongly, but thank you for watching this from Switzerland. Also, Ustaza Nazria, Muhammad Rosli, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
I
Thank
also
you.
wanted
Yes.
Yeah, I also wanted to add to Dr. Lauren's point on this hybrid training. I want to take the opportunity to also acknowledge the LWS team members, the facilitators, where we commonly call them as angels. It is really
Yes.
a team effort that makes it possible for us to transform our training from 35 years of face-to-face training
Yes.
into online business. Yeah. So, Wahini, did you see a
Yes,
change of mindset towards online learning due to the conditions created by the pandemic?
definitely. Carrying on from Dr. Lawrence's, little input there, I think exactly it's going to be a hybrid. Online learning, online study has been on the rise from the past 5 years. It's not something which just the pandemic has, started it, but what the pandemic did do is catapulted it. So there would be some people who would say, no, that's just not the mode of study for me. I would only want to do face to face, and they're not ready to try. When the pandemic hit, they had no option but to try. So I think they've
Yeah.
been pleasantly surprised that, it's not the distance education we had 20 years ago, but online study is now very interactive. And yeah, as Dr. Lawrence said, it's a hybrid. You can
Yeah.
you can have interaction. It's just not physical, probably, but it's interaction. It's the same thing. It's social.
Yes.
So we can combine both the beauty of face-to-face learning and online with the technology we have nowadays. So yeah, definitely the pandemic has given us, all these students who are now trying it out, giving us a chance, and then actually liking it. So I think, oh yeah, the mindset definitely has changed, and we see that because the pandemic definitely started March last year, and it's continuing in some places in variable degrees. But
Yeah.
the enrollments into online study, not just for us or for you guys, but I think world over, has taken a new form in itself, and
Correct.
people are continuing it. So that means that they have taken to it. And yeah, that's a very positive sign, because we need it. We need people to study in different ways so they
Yeah.
can reach, all the remote area people, everyone who can't attend a university or a college, need to study as well. And this is a way we can, provide it for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what do you think, Dr. Lawrence, how is LWS customers accepting this idea of online training?
Well, at first they say no, because they love the motivation, they love the energy, you know.
Yeah.
And even in technical courses like communication or leadership skills, they says no. We want you physically present. They want to feel the experience of the knowledge. We call it the experience of the knowledge, not just learning the theory. But then we discovered that if you want to do something online, you have to make the learning more structured. You have to let them have breaks in between, games in between, activities in between, so that they can see the flow of the entire knowledge presented. So something that we really are very famous for is we always create what we call overviews. This is where we are. This is what we're going to do. This is where the knowledge is going to be practically utilized. This is where we're going to ensure that you understand how to apply it to your daily life, your social life, your work, in a meeting, in communication, in conversation. So we keep giving them example, and they say, oh, that's good, because sometimes in a physical training, they have so much fun, they forget the
Yeah.
learning. So we say
Yeah.
now we have to be very strategic. And the second thing is we give a lot of slides to them. We actually give them the slide, and they're so happy because they say, oh, now I know how you think. Now I know the flow of the knowledge, how it began and how it will be implemented. Because sometimes in a training course online, we give a lot of knowledge and theory, but we seldom see the application. So in our online, we always focus on applying, application. Here's the action plan. Here's what you must do. Here's what will happen if you don't achieve this. Contingencies, options, and alternatives. So they have a
Yeah.
lot of ideas that they can pick it up. And then during the training, we also talk about mindset, that you have to change your mindset. Why? Because now you can learn anywhere. And most of our Zoom session is in the 10 o'clock at night, and ends at something like 11 o'clock. And sometimes we call people from all over the world. They just come in and enjoy the learning lesson.
Yeah.
And now it's
So
even recorded, correct, CN? It's recorded,
yes.
and you can
Yeah.
even watch it at your own time.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. So I
I think
think
it's a beautiful experience.
yeah, and I also
Yeah.
think that one of the best thing from this pandemic is the creation of this online community, which Dr. Lawrence spearheaded, a super online community. So tell us a little bit
Yes.
about SOC.
Yes. So we created this SOC from 14 different countries. People come in and they share ideas, and we allow them to do networking. We allow them to exchange their business ideas. We allow them to cross sell their own products, and they were so happy because they get new customers, they get new ideas, they get new business solution, and I'm just a facilitator, and they say, oh, that's a very practical idea. Oh, I can implement this idea immediately. So that's what people want now, because online training is a little bit shorter, 2 hours,
Yeah.
3 hours, 1 hour. We can't do 3 full days. You can see they're also bored 3 days. Unless we put a lot more activities inside. So SOC is a super online community where you can join. And it's part of our community project where we invite people who have been through all sorts of training, all sorts of experiences, and come and share and learn
Yeah.
from each other.
Yeah,
Wonderful concept. Yeah.
yeah, fantastic. Those LWS viewers watching out there who has joined SOC and really learned from it, do type what you learned from those moments you had with SOC. So let's come back to Wahini. So Wahini, tell us, what are the challenges did the rapid increase in enrollment brings to your business, and how did you quite overcome them?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, there were challenges. Growth always comes with challenges, and it's good, but there's other side to it. If you don't cope, it is not good as well. You might just collapse. So the main challenges we had with the rapid growth in enrollments is getting, the first one would be getting trainers who are qualified with, the extra enrollments, because we already had very qualified trainers and who are training, but we needed more, and we needed them
Yeah.
Ah.
super urgently
Yes.
because it's unprecedented growth, right? So we needed someone who could just come right in and take care of the students. So they didn't have any induction time. We just didn't have the luxury to induce them slowly into our company and train them and all that. So we had to get trainers who are so good that they can just come and train our students. And like our courses are different to what you guys offer, in the terms that we have students studying with us for about between 6 months to 2 years. It's a
Wow.
journey, it's a process, it's not a short
Yes.
term thing for them. So the trainers are there with them through that process. And I mean, we see the difference when students enroll with us and when they graduate, they're a different person sometimes because they learn so much. It's a growth in their own journey as well. And we need proper support staff for that, right? I mean, we need a lot of student services staff who can support these students during their journey. So again, we needed to get extra people who can, give the service we want for our students. And at that point, I think we just forgot about the bottom line, and we just made sure that there is this very one-on-one service to our students through different platforms like Zoom. There could be, we did other ways like what Dr. Lawrence was speaking. We have groups for individual students on Facebook itself, so they can collaborate between them. So individual modalities of students get together on their groups and they collaborate with their studies, or I mean, with the work they're doing, they help each other, which has been a great community by itself. They really help each other. So we had to create all of that for them, and more support, so that I mean, as it is with the pandemic, they were feeling very isolated, and it came up to us to create an environment in their study environment where the interaction was much higher than before, and there was more video interaction, and we just were trying to be in touch more constantly than what we would normally do. So all these were challenges which were pretty much new to us as well, because we've never gone through a pandemic before. So because people were very vulnerable as well during that time, they actually needed support in other ways. Just we had students crying on the phone because they just were so lonely, and this was their contact. So things like that. So we needed staff who were supportive and who had the patience to deal with all of that. But I mean, I think with some savvy management, we were able to cope really well. And I mean, we're thankful to all our staff for that, and how they coped, and we came through it, which is a good thing.
Well, fantastic
Very good.
team
Very
you have
good.
there to
Yes.
support you.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I like
Can't
what
do
you
without
say.
them.
I like what you say about continuous support, because that's
Yeah.
what people need during the
Yeah.
pandemic. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's just not knowledge. It's that sometimes
No.
they have something else and then no one to talk to, and they look up to the
Yeah.
lecturer, they look up to the
Yeah.
consultant for help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Study is a learning experience. It's a growth, and it's not just giving them some materials and telling them to
Yes.
finish their
Correct. Yeah.
course, right? They want to learn, they want to grow, they want to interact, and I think if we provide them as an online providers, people will study online, because that was what was missing previously when people didn't like it. So now I think the pandemic has given us the technology and improved it so much in a short span of time. And we are able to provide that with reasonably lower cost than what was before, which is a great thing.
Yeah, fantastic. I like what you say also about growing pains, which is
Yes,
a good thing. Yeah,
absolutely.
it's a
It
good
is.
challenge to have. Yeah. So for
Yeah, it
those of
is,
you,
absolutely. Yeah.
for those of you who just joined us, thank you so much for joining. We have Dr. Lawrence Walter Ng from Lawrence Water Seminars and Wahini Panda from Health Academy and Health Courses Australia. So if you have any questions for the speakers, feel free to put it in our comments below. So I would also love to know from your perspective, Dr. Lawrence, what are some of the challenges you think that Lawrence Water Seminars had to go through, and how did you choose to overcome them?
One of the biggest challenges that we had going online was to set up a system, a visual system, so that we can see as many people as possible. Now we call it Super Zoom. We can see up to 500 people, and we can actually interact with them. We have a team behind to actually spotlight, highlight as many people as possible. One of our aim is at least your name is being mentioned one time. At least we interviewed 20% of the people. They have a chance to speak, whether it's in the chat room or they can voice out or show some kind of a physical participation, because we don't want people to just sit down and listen, because we found that that wasn't sustainable, right? Another thing that we discovered was suddenly many people say, hey, Dr. Lawrence, I can catch you online. So I want to do a one-to-one. I don't want to be in a group. I want a one-to-one coaching session with you. So we have so many one-to-one coaching sessions where they had their own set of challenges. So we gave them very customized solution, and they were so happy because they said, that's what I want. Because generally in a class or in a course, they have to teach something generic. But what these people want, mostly are entrepreneurs, founders, they wanted something that's something that they're facing right now, how to solve it. So it
Yeah.
was beautiful how we could turn all these challenges into an opportunity for one-to-one coaching. So that was a boom for us, one-to-one coaching. So if you're keen for one-to-one coaching with me, let me know. Our
Yeah.
expertise is in mindset, leadership, sales, and of course, marketing, how to get your product up into the market fast,
Sounds good.
Oh, sounds good. Yeah. So Wahidi, tell us what do you think is the positive impact that online training have on your students?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think a lot of students were in isolation during that time, or a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
generally even were in isolation. And we heard stories actually from students saying this is their only way, they can be in
Yeah.
touch with others. And they have to keep their mind active, you see. A lot of people, especially the older population, they were going crazy sitting at home because in Australia they didn't let them out. I mean, in the beginning, at least for 4 months, they were not
Yeah.
allowed to go into public places. I'm sure it's like the same for you in Malaysia as well.
Yeah.
And they needed something to engage themselves mentally, so they just don't feel isolated. And
Mm.
this was definitely a positive thing for them. And so we had a lot of older population do short courses with us,
Mm.
and of course, there is the other category of people who lost jobs or were made redundant, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because the industries collapsed or industries closed down, and they had to do something to with their free time, firstly, and secondly, once the job market opens up, they have to be ready. So it gave them the
Mm.
opportunity to actually use the time to reskill or upskill themselves, either with a qualification or a short course. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been really positive, and actually people got through their courses quicker because they just had the time.
Mm.
Yeah, all this definitely, is pretty positive, and we heard positive stories from people
Very
letting us
good.
know that,
Yes.
yeah, this is what they did, and this is how it helped, and which helped us too, because it just makes us more enthusiastic to provide the services we do and improve them for the students. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. I agree that online learning is a positive distraction to learners and to students as well. And also, it's amazing to know that so many even older people are embarking on this
Yeah.
lifelong learning journey, right? Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
Dr.
I mean, sorry, I'll just add that on that point,
Yes,
Zian, that, in the past, if people were over 50, they were very, very reluctant to use technology, right? I mean, even
yes,
even things like video calls. I remember, I mean, I know from my own parents' experience, they don't like it. But,
yeah,
my dad started using it now because there's no other option. So the same way, I think a lot of people, they had no other option than to jump into it. And it's great because they again can reconnect with the younger people, younger generations as well. And I think all this is a positive outcome. It's not just learning, but generally as well. So
yeah,
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Mm.
So,
I agree with that.
tell, yeah. Tell us, Dr. Lawrence. I mean, you have made a big jump into, learning technology and going on social media. Tell us your experience and how all this positive online learning is making an impact to
I think the
students.
first thing that people want to go into online and wanting to conduct their own online courses and probably run online organization, learning organization, is to get into the social media. Social media is a wonderful place, but you cannot be boring. You don't take a picture of yourself standing like this or just doing something normal. You have to be extraordinary. Why? Because the social media, I believe there are about 10,000 posting and videos 1 minute, in 1 minute. So the people watching online or wanting to enroll in your course, if you're an entrepreneur, wanting to promote a learning or product or services, they are scrollers. They just scroll, 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 scroll. So you have to make your social media videos of posters or ideas like a yellow frog. What's the color of a frog? What's the color of frogs in Australia?
Green.
Mostly green. Mostly green. So we always say you got to be a yellow frog.
Yeah.
What's a yellow frog?
Yeah.
Means you stand out
Stand
from the
out.
rest.
Yeah.
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 Because a lot of people also tell me, Dr. Lawrence, I did an online course. Nobody registered. I tried to promote online learning from my experience. I'm quite good in this. Very few people registered. And then I said, show me. I says, what? That's ordinary. That's what everybody does. Who's going to pay for it? That you can get it free. So you got to be extraordinary. You got to provide the service, like what you said just now, the follow-up, the student support, the community. So I hope the people here gather the main gist of our sharing today. Number one is support. They need the support. You just can't do the training or online learning without the support. Number two, community. We need to create a special community, all right, where they start as strangers and live as best friend, best buddies, business associate, even partners in the end. I've heard many people, they go to Harvard for only one reason, to get to know the son of the other tycoon so that we can do $1 billion business together. That's all. To do $1
I
billion
like that.
business together. Yes. Yeah. So we can create this online.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
I
most
know.
important thing is mindset.
Yes.
So your
Yes.
mindset on online is totally different from physical.
Yeah.
Online energy is number one. Energy. They must feel your energy across the internet.
And I also think people have less barriers online, they have
Yeah.
less barriers of how they look, how they sound. So they're a bit more free to talk with each other and, communicate better. So, there's an
Yeah.
advantage to it. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. I can definitely feel your energy even through here, Dr. Lawrence. So that's for sure.
And
So
my
why?
advice is on your video. Don't off your video. Switch on your video. And
Yeah.
that's how you learn how to be more social.
Yeah.
That's why it's called social media. It's not
Correct.
off video media.
Yeah. So Wahini, share with us, do you see any increase or any increase in demand towards any particular modalities throughout the course during the pandemic?
Definitely, yeah. See, normally, we always do really well with the nutrition, natural health, and natural courses. And we do have other courses as well. But what we saw is a massive interest in counseling and aged care. Counseling and aged care during this time. And especially we have a diploma of counseling, which is a very intense qualification. It's just like a little bit below a bachelor's degree. Because it's a 2-year qualification. It is a nationally recognized qualification. So it has some very strict and stringent, assessments and all that. But we saw so many people wanting to study that and enrolling into it. And also the same with we call it the Certificate 3 individual support. It's aged care for the aging population. So they become aged care carers and aged care support people. Yeah, we've seen a massive increase in that as well. I suppose it's not a surprise because, both counseling and aged care are, industries which people see there'll be a growth, obviously, from the pandemic because people have that need more and more, during these difficult times. So we saw a lot of people wanting to study in those areas. Yeah.
Okay,
I
fantastic.
think in Malaysia and in Asia, the spike in the courses is related to sales, related to how to increase the top line, because many organizations They had a big hit, 50% down, 30%
Yeah,
down, some even 90% down. And when the
definitely. Yeah.
MCO or pandemic starts to improve, and some people are allowed to open their business, suddenly they realize cash flow. And from cash flow comes sales. And how do we get the sales? How do we go out there and conquer? So we have a very special, unique program called Sales Conqueror, not just
Or
sales
be
in,
or be the yellow frog.
yeah, yellow frog salesman. I was short of
Yeah.
saying yellow panda salesman.
Joking, joking.
Joking, joking. Yes, yes.
It's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Eric. Yeah, just want to say hello to Eric. Dr. Lawrence met you in 1992 in Subang Jaya. Wow.
1992.
Yeah.
What age was that? What age was that?
Thank you so much for joining us today, Eric. Yeah. So, Dr. Lawrence, you also mentioned just now a little bit about how there are more inquiries about your coaching and one-to-one coaching. Tell us a little bit
Yeah.
more about that. And what
Well,
exactly do you coach on?
the main thing is the brand. A lot of people wanted to go out and do business. They wanted to create a product and so to speak make some money, but they forget about branding. They end up being a me too, being a copycat. That's not good. If you want to
Yeah.
do something, you have to first focus on your brand. When your brand is correct, then it's like butterflies coming to your garden. I share this concept, the butterfly garden. Every day, if you don't have a brand, you are like catching butterflies everywhere, catching butterflies. And it's very tiring. Every day you have to go out and look for customer. But imagine if you have a beautiful butterfly garden with flowers and trees and fruit, and the butterflies, the customers come to you. All you have to do is put a net, and that's your business. So one of the
Yeah.
way is to find out what people want, like what you said,
Definitely.
counseling,
Yeah.
managing aging population or aging patients. You found that, and that's the garden. Go out there and promote it, and then people come to you. Wow, you have a beautiful Australian butterfly garden.
No, it's a very valid point. Very valid point. Yeah, yeah. You've
Yeah.
got to be niche. You've got to be different. You
Yes.
can't be
Yes.
copycats. I totally agree to that. And a lot of
Hmm.
people follow. They're more followers
Yes.
than trying to create their own. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So Wahini, tell us if there is one
Yeah.
thing you want the viewers to take away from today's session, what would that be? Or what advice would you give to those people who kind of lost their jobs or have their industry collapse or forced to change careers? What are your advice for them?
It's definitely not doom and gloom, because while there are industries which have collapsed or closed down during the pandemic, there is a whole set of other industries which has seen so much growth. So those would be online products and services, healthcare. You just have to go there and look what jobs are out there, because there's so many jobs, maybe not in the area you were working before, but there is so many employers looking for good employees. And I mean, you need to look outside the box, and reskill yourself or upskill yourself, and be ready to work in a different industry, and you will get your job back then, and even a better job, better career, who knows. So definitely, I think the way to go forward is move into the industries which are booming, and there are many industries which are booming currently. And as I said, like, yeah, anything to do with online services and products and healthcare, definitely is the growth area.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. And Dr. Lawrence, what about you? What's your advice for online learning providers?
Don't be a Nokia. Don't be a Kodak. I love those brands. I had a Nokia, I had a Kodak, but they were outdated. They refused to change. So the most important quality you must have is a creative mindset. Robots are going to take over the world in 20 years, but they cannot be as creative as a human being. Relationship, Learn how to build relationship. If you can connect with people, your price, your value will go all the way up. That's what a robot cannot do. Find ways to change your mindset. This is a time to fight. This is a time where the winners go out there and play. Why? Because the losers are giving up. So don't join that group. Go and join the winners group. The winners are going out there and testing and innovating and finding ways it means to create new things. And it's maybe not to do with an app, but it could just be a simple idea of learning how to, like what you say, care for aging population, because the population of the world is aging and they need help and they need a human. They don't need a robot to feed them, or to talk to them with robotic scripts. They want somebody, and I tell you that is big business. So sorry. So my final advice is change your mindset, because your mindset is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Very
love
true.
that. Thank you so much, Dr. Lawrence. And I think if any one of you out there who's watching this and you're looking for someone to really push yourself to change your mindset, or a form of a coach to turn around your business, do connect with Dr. Lawrence for a highly personalized coaching session. And of course, if you're looking to upskill yourself in various courses, in counseling, nutrition, national health or aged care, connect with Wahini from the Health Academy and Health Courses Australia. So I also want to take this opportunity to share a little bit about IARC, the reason why we're here. So IARC is a quality control system for international education programs and courses, which means that if you join IARC, your course content are now certified as international standards. So if you're a training or education provider watching this, I highly recommend that you connect with us at our website below. So I want to conclude by ending with this poster that Dr. Lawrence always teach in training, that challenge is an opportunity for us to upskill ourselves. And I want to encourage those people who are watching here, just viewers out there watching here, that whatever that you're going through, transform this energy of conflict into the energy of transformation.
Wow, so nice.
Love it.
Write it down. Write it down. Huh?
Yes.
So any last words from you both?
From me, if there are other online training providers who are looking at this and thinking, well, what can we do to get ourselves up there or improve our business or students? What I would say is, make sure your support services are there, invest in the infrastructure, invest in your business properly so you can support your students and give them a great learning experience. Because if you don't, they won't come back to you, and they won't come back to any of us, really. So give them a great learning experience. Because online learning and training courses, all of them are here to stay. They'll become mainstream. I think it'll be 50-50% hand in hand with face-to-face. And so we all have to think about that, and that'll be our future.
Thank you so much, Wahini. And Dr. Lawrence, any last words?
This is the time to improve tremendously your communication skill. A lot of people now, if you want to upgrade yourself, you've got to learn how to open your mouth and influence people, convince people. Many people don't do that. They just open and talk. Talking is the least valued skill. Influencing, convincing, finding a way to change the mindset of people. Wow, that's a skill that's highly valued right now. And you could be the CEO, the general manager, an entrepreneur. If you know how to communicate, you can change the direction of your organization and the growth of your organization. Why people don't change? Because the boss is never talking, never communicating enough. Why the company is not changing? Because the people don't know how to communicate with the customers, And why the company is breaking down? Because internal conflict leads to breakdown in communication. Why there's so many relationship problem, communication. Back to this word,
Yeah.
communication. And you can learn communication online. That's the most beautiful part. Anytime, any part of the world, I can always coach you to be a powerful communicator.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Lawrence and Wahini. I really
Thank
appreciate your
you.
time today. And to all viewers out there, those that just joined us as well, Ravindran, Rosalind, Lina, Yusuf, Hafiza, and the LWS team, thank you so much
Yeah.
for your support. Yeah. So see you next time.
Thank you, Zian. Thank you, Dr. Lawrence. See you.
Thank
Thank
Bye.
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.